Hey guys, with the rentals, Sam here, and so this is I'm gonna be talking about part two in working with finding and dealing with contractors. So in part one we talked about how you find contractors. In this part we're gonna continue that thought and take them from finding them, take you guys from finding them to dealing with them and working with them and showing the property. So and how to get to the right one, how to find the right one, because there's many out there, and they may not be a good fit for you. So and this is one idea that I got from a guy. His name is Mark Zimmerman. He is he's the chief officer of the Renters Warehouse in Houston, Texas. And so he was telling his thoughts in one of the meetings, and I was like, this is really great information. So I'm trying to use this thought and his thoughts on finding my contractors and dealing with them and how to pick the right one. At the same time, I will tell you what I thought at the beginning. So and maybe that will work too. So we're going to talk about both ways, but this is a very detailed video here showing you what to do about contractors and how to find the right ones. So let's go from there. So in part one we talked about how to find contractors. Go watch that part one if you can. Now we're going to talk about maybe other ways of finding contractors, but I mainly use the one I talked to you about in part one because they were there. I can talk to them, I can find them, I can introduce myself. But other ways to finding contractors was you can find them by using referrals. You can find them on maybe even Craigslist, on services. You can find them maybe on Facebook Marketplace, but I haven't used those yet. But these are other ways. And of course there are those contractors in the REI meetings, local meetings, right? So you go to your town meeting and you can find them and you can talk to them. But usually those contractors that are there, they are very established. They may have budgets for advertising and overhead and so on. So I feel they will overprice the jobs. That's to me. I mean, you might find them very decent, but to me, I feel like they will be those who have overhead contract, many people, and advertise everywhere. So that's why they go to these meetings, and they have all kind of what you want, all what you want. They have a website, advertise, and they have business cards, and they have probably a truck that have their name on it, and so on. But anyways, so these are other ways of doing it other than what I talked to in part one. But I used part one video to find my contractors, and so but these are other ways as well. So now after you did all that and you found those contractors, hopefully now you have, let's say 10 to 15, but let's say 10. You have 10 contractors that you want to work with. All right, you want to call these contractors that you talked to or you found. You tell them that you're a real estate investor, and that's what Mark was telling in the meeting. Tell them you're a real estate investor. Tell them you buy several houses a year, and tell them that you're looking to add another crew to your team. Okay, so although you're a new real estate investor, well, you're still a real estate investor. Hopefully you do this successfully, so you can hopefully buy another house this year. Okay, and then yes, you are looking for another crew and a team. So maybe you can use them for this job, and maybe you can use them for the next job. So all this is not a lie. So you're telling them what you're telling them, and that's not a lie, because you wanna work with them. You wanna give them an impression. Now, what they're gonna find from you is that because this what you tell them that because they will see you as a repeat client. Okay, so then when they see you as a repeat client, hopefully they will give you a better price and maybe even a better performance. So you want to give them that impression about you when you call them on the phone. Now, you tell them it's a major rehab. In my case, it's a major rehab. If you go to the other video, it's a house that's been abandoned, but any house that I think that maybe you will you have a lot of work in it, it's a major rehab. It's not just a lipstick rehab. So you want someone who will do a major work there. And then um, you wanna tell them that you wanna meet them at the same time, the same day. So what I mean by that, when you call them, you tell contractor one, I want to meet you on Saturday at 1 p.m. You tell contractor B that you want to meet him on Saturday at 1 p.m. too, and then so on for the next 10 of them. Okay, you don't tell them that you are scheduling everyone at the same time. You just don't tell them that, and you schedule them all at the same day and the same time. Okay. All right, so now, and there is a reason for that, so we'll talk about it. So when the day will come, let's say it's Saturday, 1 p.m., or any time you choose, all right, all of them will say, or we will show up, and you'll find out from the 10 or 15 people, let's say 10, you find out that 2 people didn't show up. So you see 8 of them will show up, 2 people will not show up. And that's good, that's fine. That means you just with them out, don't care about them because they didn't even show up. So you don't want to work with them. All right. So now when at that time, those people are gonna be, those contractors are gonna be sitting on their trucks waiting for you. Now what they're gonna see? They're gonna see other contractors in their trucks also on the job, right, at the same time. And what you found out is a couple of these contractors will tell themselves, you know what, I don't want to compete for your business, and then they leave. So okay, so now 2 didn't show up, 2 more didn't want to compete, and then didn't want to even do a little competition to win this business. So that's fine. So now out of 10, you have 4 left, or 4 didn't want to work. So that's fine. You have 6 now. All right. So now you have 6. What you will do now is you want to work them through the property. You met them all. You want to work them all together through the property. Show them all the work. And the reason for that is because you don't wanna forget what you told one contractor, and then you said, oh, you know what, I missed that with the other contractor, so I didn't tell them that. So you want to tell them all the same thing at the same time, and so they are all on the same page with you. All right. But before you do that, you want to tell them that, you know, I want 2 lines by line quotes, and hopefully it's room by room, but that's what Mark was saying. But hopefully you want 2 line by line, 1 for material and 1 for labor. All right. Okay, and tell them that you will either order the material yourself and pick it up, or they will buy the material and labor. All right. And because the reason for that, you want this details, because some contractors will buy more material, and then they will charge you for that, and then they go and use it for another job, and that's what I think that will happen. And it seems like this is something that can happen easily. So you want to tell them line by line, labor here, material here for the job, and hopefully they tell you also room by room. So okay, we're good here. You also want to tell them that you need the completion date, and you want to tell them that every day that go over that day, you will charge them $150. Okay, so that will incentivize them to work on your job and complete it at the completion date. Otherwise, they will just leave your work, and then you may show up in 2 days, and they work, and then they leave and take another job, and they start their jobs one after the other. Okay, and then you not hear from them, and then you just wait for them to show up and complete your job. No, you charge them. You in the contract, you tell them in the walkthrough, this is I need the completion date, and I will tell you that I will charge $150 for every day that you go over the completion date that we agreed on. So that should be the exact completion date. All right, so now you tell them how you pay them. Some people will pay halfway and at the end. I may pay them, let's say, every 2 weeks. All right, and or I'll pay them maybe after each step. Maybe after they finish foundation, pay them for the foundation. After they finish framing, I'll pay them for framing, and so on. After sheetrock, after electric, and then you pay them. So you're gonna see that. You want to tell them that up front. All right, and then you tell them also to ask as many questions. The more questions they ask, the better you feel about them, because that's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. It involves thousands of dollars. So you wanna do that. All right, so you also will tell them that you need a lot of details, because let's say, for example, if they tell you we'll paint the room, or this is the cost, we'll paint you the room. Well, what does that mean? Does it mean that they will paint the ceiling, the wall, or does it mean that they will paint the ceiling, the wall, and the trims, and what about the doors? Are they just so the more details you see in the contract or in their estimate, the better it is for you, because then you're on the same page. You don't want to leave anything that is not written in the contract, and so the more details basically is better. All right, and at the end, after you walk them through the property, you tell them, all right, you tell them that you have 3 days to give me an estimate, and that's plenty of time. 3 days to give me an estimate. That's plenty of time for them to work on it, and you will tell them that my decision is going to be based on not only the price, but also on the details of their estimate. Labor, as I said, line by line, labor and material. So you can that's the details you need. Mark Zimmerman, he was also mentioning that, tell them once they bring a crew, you will use them again as long as they continue to perform on time and on budget. That tells them you're a repeat customer and you will get a better price. So it's better to have this idea in their mind that you are a repeat customer, like I said in the beginning. All right, so now in reality, couple of them will not deliver their estimate in 3 days, and that's fine. That means, so that's another 2 that you don't wanna work with. That means that they're not, because 3 days is the time. 3 days for, let's say 3 days. I mean, you can go 4 days, but that's a good time for them to prepare that estimate. So if they don't show up, they didn't give you any estimate. Okay, so now you went from 10 to 8 to 6 to 4. So now you have 4 estimates, and you want to compare your own rehab. Now you get in 3 days you get 4 estimates from the 4 contractors, and so now you look at the estimates, and you want to compare those estimates to what you work them through, or to your own checklist, just to compare apple to apple. Did they take into consideration all what you told them? Did they put everything that you asked them to do in that estimate? Because I mean, the more details, you show them the property, you show them everything that they need to work on. They ask as many questions. Well, they have to. I mean, they should have had their notes, or they have some videos and pictures, and then they should be able. That's their job. They should be able to give you as detailed estimate as possible in their estimate, and that's what you're looking for. All right. So now you also want to compare 1 to 1. You have 4 of them, right? You want to compare the 4 of them, all right, and see if they match up, because what may happen is someone may charge you for more material, okay, and if they charge for more material, you may see like 50% more material in one of the quotes than the other ones. Well, that means that they're playing games on you, so that contractor may not be the best fit for you as well. So you want to keep an eye on that. All right, and now who do you pick? You will I mean, don't just use the price. You want to pick the right contractor based on the details, price and details, and then also Do they bring you all the details, maybe room by room, maybe is it line by line, material and labor? And then how long did it take them to send you the estimate? Was it within that 3 days? And then when were they professional? Did they did they? And then also, like, don't discount your gut. I think that what Renters Warehouse Marx was saying, don't discount your gut too. So uh, you know. Listen to what your gut is saying, basically. And finally, you contact the winning contractor and tell them that they won. Tell them that you want to meet them maybe at the job they are working on, or someplace to execute the contractor the contract between you and them. And then you maybe talk about some details that maybe you have questions. And then also maybe contact the losing contracts and tell them that they didn't win that contract, and that you went with someone else, just like as a courtesy, and because you want to keep them in your mind, because they may be very close, maybe they didn't add some details that you needed, or maybe their price was just a little higher, especially the contractor number 2. You want to keep that in the back of your pocket, because maybe you'll buy another house and this crew was busy, number 1, that you chose, and then at the end of the year maybe you need them, or maybe next year. So keep them in mind, and so that if you need them, you have already worked with them, you have seen how they give you the details and price and all that, and that's it. And so hopefully this information was helpful. What I think, this is how I got it, and this is a really good way of doing it from Mark, the guy I listened to in the meeting. But also, like, the other way of doing it maybe is just, as my opinion also, but you can do it this way. You don't have to even go. You can send them to the job site, and then they will give you some estimates, and you call them on the phone if you don't want to go there. But I agree. I think it's better to go meet them and give them all the details, and so that you'll have as many contractors bidding on the job and competing, and whoever wins. You find the right team, the right crew, and when they win, you win. So hopefully that was helpful. Thank you very much, guys, and I will hopefully talk to you in the next video. Have a great day. Sam here with Wealth with Rentals. Bye bye.